She is one of the greatest tennis players of all time. He is a businessman from the tech world. They came from completely different worlds, and many people never expected their relationship to last. But Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian proved everyone wrong. They have now been married for 8 years and have 2 daughters together. So how did they even meet? Why did so many people doubt their relationship from the very beginning? And what do their 2 daughters look like today? Before we get into all of that, let me tell you something that most people don't know. The first time Serena laid eyes on the man who would become her husband, she was annoyed by him. She didn't want him near her. She didn't want to talk to him. She actually tried to get rid of him. And yet, years later, she would call him the best decision she ever made. But to understand how we get from that moment in Rome to a family of 4 today, we have to go back to May 2015, because that is where everything begins. It was May 12th, 2015. Serena Williams was in Rome competing in the Italian Open. She was already a legend by then. 21 Grand Slam titles, 4 Olympic gold medals, one of the most recognized women in the world. She sat down for breakfast at her hotel, the Cavalieri Hotel, surrounded by her friends. Then a man walked in, tall, carrying a laptop, and he sat down right next to her table. The entire restaurant was nearly empty. He could have sat anywhere. Serena later described the moment on the Drew Barrymore show. She said, "This guy shows up really tall, he comes with his computer and he just plops right next to us, and he opens his computer and starts typing. And I'm just like, why?" I was so angry. She didn't know who he was. She had no idea he had co-founded one of the biggest websites in the world. He was there for a tech conference, the Festival of Media Global. His name was Alexis Ohanian, and Serena decided immediately she wanted him gone. She and her friends told him there was a rat nearby, hoping he would leave. He didn't move. He just kept typing. And that small act of staying, not running, not being intimidated, was the beginning of everything. They started talking, and according to reports, they became fast friends within minutes. By the end of breakfast, Serena had invited him to watch her play. Could you imagine? From, "I want this man to leave," to "come watch my match," all in one morning. After Rome, Serena did something that surprised even her closest circle. She invited Alexis to come watch her at the French Open in Paris. He was a tech entrepreneur. He had never watched a tennis match in his life, not in person, not on television. He knew almost nothing about the sport, but he said yes. He got on a plane and flew to Paris. And what happened next was not a formal date. It wasn't planned. They simply spent 6 hours together in the city, visiting the Eiffel Tower, walking through the Jardin des Plantes, just talking. 6 hours. No cameras, no pressure, just 2 people from completely different worlds, finding out they fit together. People close to them said that Alexis was genuinely captivated by Serena. Not by the trophies, not by the fame, by her. And Serena, who had spent her entire life being the most powerful woman in the room, found someone who didn't need her to tone it down. But that wasn't the real story yet, because the world was watching, and not everyone was happy about it. When their relationship slowly became public in 2016, the reaction online was immediate. Some people questioned it. Some called it surprising. Some said it would never last. 2 people from entirely different worlds, different backgrounds, different industries, different races, different everything. And here's what many of us know. Real love doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for approval. Alexis began showing up at her matches, sitting in the stands, posting about her on social media. In September 2015, he was seen at the US Open and shared a photo from the stands with the caption, "Come at the Queen, you best not miss." He wasn't hiding, he wasn't ashamed, he was showing up. And behind closed doors, the relationship kept growing. December 2016. Alexis took Serena back to Rome, back to the Cavalieri Hotel, back to the same table where they had first met over breakfast. He had arranged roses around the pool. He had planned every detail. And right there, at the exact spot where she had once tried to get rid of him, he got down on one knee. Serena said yes. She was so overwhelmed that she didn't post a selfie. She didn't call a magazine. She wrote a poem, and she posted it on Reddit, on the platform that Alexis had built. The thread was titled, "I Said Yes." She wrote, "This time he made it not by chance, but by choice. Down on one knee, he said 4 words, and I said yes. But then, just days after the engagement, came a moment that no one had planned. Serena took a pregnancy test, then another, then 3 more. 6 pregnancy tests, all positive. She later told Vanity Fair, "I did a double take and my heart dropped. Like literally dropped. Oh my God, this can't be. I've got to play a tournament." Here is the part that will leave you speechless. Serena Williams was already pregnant when she won the 2017 Australian Open. She won a Grand Slam title, beating 5 top 10 players, while carrying a baby she didn't yet know she was expecting. And the initials of that tournament? AO. She named her daughter Alexis Olympia, AO, as a quiet tribute to the greatest match of her life, played for 2 lives at once. But the months that followed were not triumphant. They were terrifying. On September 1st, 2017, Serena gave birth to Olympia via emergency C-section after her heart rate dropped dangerously during labor. The birth itself was successful, but the day after surgery, Serena suddenly couldn't breathe. She had a pulmonary embolism. A blood clot had traveled to her lungs. Because of her medical history with blood clots, she recognized the symptoms immediately. She told the nurses. She insisted something was wrong. According to her own account, at first, they didn't listen. She kept pushing, demanding a CT scan. Eventually, they listened. The scan confirmed multiple blood clots in her lungs. Then her C-section wound tore open from the coughing caused by the embolism. She went back into surgery. Doctors found a hematoma, a large swelling of clotted blood, in her abdomen. She then had a third procedure to have a filter inserted into a major vein to stop more clots from reaching her lungs. Serena Williams spent the first 6 weeks of motherhood unable to get out of bed. She later wrote, "Being heard and appropriately treated was the difference between life or death for me." And where was Alexis? Right there. He took 16 weeks of paternity leave from Reddit to be with her. He changed diapers. He sat beside her bed. He told Vogue, "Consider for a moment that your body is one of the greatest things on this planet, and you're trapped in it." The man who once sat at a breakfast table in Rome, uninvited, had become the person she needed most in the hardest moment of her life. What would you have done in his position? Would you have stayed? 2 months after Olympia was born, on November 16th, 2017, Serena and Alexis got married. The ceremony was held at the Contemporary Art Center in New Orleans. The theme, Beauty and the Beast. The guest list included Beyoncé and Jay-Z, Kim Kardashian, Anna Wintour, and Eva Longoria. The woman who started the year by quietly winning an Australian Open while pregnant ended it as a wife, a mother, and the cover of Vogue, with her daughter in her arms. In May 2023, Serena walked the red carpet at the Met Gala. She was glowing in her gown, and then everyone noticed her baby bump. She captioned the Instagram post, "Was so excited when Anna Wintour invited the 3 of us to the Met Gala." On August 15th, 2023, their second daughter was born. Her name is Adira River Ohanian. Adira, a Hebrew name meaning strong one. Serena said it means mighty, strong, and majestic. A name chosen with intention. Today, Olympia is 8 years old, long dark hair, her mother's confidence written all over her face, and she is already living a life most adults only dream about. She is not following Serena into tennis, at least not yet. She plays piano, she loves fashion, she attended Paris Fashion Week. She appeared on the cover of Vogue at just 5 years old, and according to Serena herself, she is a full-on Taylor Swift fan. This little girl is already her own person. And then there is Adira, 2 years old, same dark hair as her sister, still so small, but already impossible to ignore. During the 2024 Paris Olympics, someone captured a photo of the 2 sisters together. Olympia walking ahead in Barbie pink and reaching back to hold her little sister's hand. That one image said everything words cannot. Serena told People magazine in late 2024 that when she was pregnant with Adira, she actually worried. She said, "Olympia was our star, and I was so obsessed with her. Even when I was pregnant, I thought, how do I even love anyone as much as Olympia? It just doesn't work." She paused. Then she said, "It's so funny. Your heart just gets bigger." 8 years of marriage, 2 daughters, a near-death experience, public doubt, racial pressure, career changes. And through all of it, they stayed together. This was not a perfect love story with no problems. This was 2 people from completely different worlds who chose each other, again and again. So now we want to hear from you. Do you think Olympia will follow in her mother's footsteps and become a professional tennis player?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to channel for more. As always, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.